overpowering win for the 49ers. And, I told this to George Kittle as he was walking out of the locker room today. This really escalated quickly. The 49ers can clinch the NFC West on Thursday, not even next Sunday, on Thursday. They're going to have to go through sleeping in, doing all this recovery stuff to turn around and be ready to play on Thursday against the Seattle Seahawks. And, we could have a 2019-like moment, right? There was a lot more on the line. 2019, Week 17, when the 49ers beat Seattle to win the division. Now the 49ers have breathing room, but how quickly they got breathing room because of what happened today around the NFL and what happened today here at Levi Stadium. First of all, the 49ers obviously beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers 35-7. That's impressive in its own right. But we got to put everything into context and realize that Carolina went into Seattle, upset the Seahawks. And also, we saw Minnesota lose to the Detroit Lions. But that Seahawks loss, plus the 49ers win, means that the 49ers can wrap up this division and no worse than the number 3 seed on Thursday night at Seattle. Minnesota's loss to Detroit means the 49ers are only a game back of the number 2 seed in the NFC. It's unrealistic to expect the 49ers to catch the Eagles, who only have 1 loss. But what that 2 seed would do if the 49ers can catch the Vikings is it would give the 49ers a guaranteed 2 home playoff games, assuming they win the first one in the wild card round. So wild card and divisional playoffs at home, and then all of a sudden you'd have the conference championship game if you could win those 2. And, there's a chance that Philadelphia, even if they're the number 1 seed, gets upset in the divisional round. So potentially the 49ers might be able to have home field advantage in the playoffs. But as many home games as possible is critical because, A, the 49ers have a rookie quarterback right now. We're not sure about Jimmy Garoppolo's status. The 49ers aren't sure yet. Jimmy Garoppolo's not sure yet. They have a little bit of a window that he might be able to return to for the playoffs. But if they can get Brock Purdy to deliver 60%, 70% of what he did today, they're going to be able to complement an overpowering defense and a really good special teams unit, and this team is going to be good enough to make a run. And if you can make a run that's led by defense and special teams and by a rookie quarterback, you want that to happen at home, right? You want to ensure as many home games as possible because the 49ers really fed off of the energy here at Levi Stadium today. When this team, the 49ers, when they play 3-way complementary football, and they've been doing it for a month and a half now, they won 6 straight games, which is an NFL best winning streak. When the 49ers are firing on all cylinders, it is a roaring machine, and it is a sight to behold. Today, the score was 35-7 over Tampa Bay. It was 35-0 at halftime, and the 49ers just kept on piling on against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Actually, 28-0 at halftime. They scored once more after the half on the Christian McCaffrey rushing touchdown. 36 carries, 209 yards for the 49ers on the ground, 14 for 119 for Christian McCaffrey, and this came against what is a top 10 rushing defense. I think the Buccaneers losing Vita Vea, another Bay Area product. Obviously, we talked about Tom Brady's homecoming. It was also the homecoming for defensive tackle Vita Vea, who's a 346-pounder, really hard to block. He left with a calf injury early. That really worked in the 49ers' favor because they just started opening up massive holes up front. And that's impressive against the Bucs defense that's known for stopping the run. Brock Purdy, impressive against the defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, who's known for his exotic blitzes. And, what impressed me most about Purdy was that the first play was a cornerback blitz from Keanu Neal, and Brock Purdy wasn't ready for it. You know that Todd Bowles was scheming that up in the lab over the course of the whole week, and he said, you know what, I'm going to surprise this rookie with a corner blitz. I'm going to get him. And he did get Brock Purdy. I mean, he rocked him on that first play, but Purdy bounced back from that. Now, it did help the 49ers that they called the personal foul there. I think by the letter of the law, it was the right call. It was a bailout, though. I mean, Brock Purdy wasn't ready for the blitz. NFL quarterbacks have to be ready for the blitz. That play, though, might have given some false confidence to Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers. And they said, hell, we're just going to keep on blitzing the rookie over and over again because we don't think he can handle it. And from that point on, Brock Purdy didn't miss a single blitz. He just burned all the blitzes. 3rd and 7 later in that first drive, blitz up the middle. Purdy burns it with a throw to George Kittle to convert that 3rd down, sets up the 2 runs, one from Christian McCaffrey and the other one to Deebo Samuel. By the way, I mentioned Deebo Samuel, probably can't pivot away from this right now. 49ers think they have good news there. It looked terrible out on the field. It deflated the 49ers for a few plays before they regained their balance. But the 49ers think that it might just be, and I just say just because normally you don't say that, but they think that they might have avoided the worst with Deebo Samuel. They're going to need the MRI results to come back, but a high ankle sprain might be the case here, and that would be a 4 to 6 week injury in all likelihood, which would mean Deebo might be able to come back for the playoffs. So that is a piece of good news after it looked like terrible news for Deebo Samuel. But anyway, it was his touchdown that opened the game, but it was Brock Purdy's passing that set up the run on that first drive, if we're going to look at this in larger thematic fashion. Purdy, 16 of 21, 185 yards. That's really efficient. And he beat every single blitz that Tampa Bay threw at him after that first blitz. The touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey, that was a 27-yarder. That Brock Purdy got rocked on that play. I think it's good that he didn't get hurt on that play because it looked like a pretty nasty hit, looked low, but he hung in there, and you could see where the 49ers talk about this guy's balls all the time, right? This guy's got guts, he's got balls. That's the line that Kyle Shanahan used. It's because he's not afraid to sit in there and beat these blitzes. Now, the next step in Purdy's development, the league is going to adjust to him. We already saw Tampa Bay do it, but it was too late for them. They're going to start dropping guys into coverage. They're going to stop blitzing, and they're going to start dropping 7, 8 into coverage. Pete Carroll's going to do it next week, and Brock Purdy's going to have to prove that he has the wherewithal and the arm to beat defenses that are dropping in coverage. He threw an interception today that, luckily for the 49ers and for Purdy, got nullified by defensive holding, but it was still not a good throw, not a good read from Brock Purdy. That's what's coming, though. Defense is dropping into coverage. Purdy's going to have to adapt on the fly to that. And obviously in Seattle, he's going to have to adapt to crowd noise because the 49ers will play a road game with Brock Purdy for the first time. But still, insanely efficient. It's an awesome story. 16 of 21 for Brock Purdy. He probably caught his dad in the stands, shedding a few tears. This is awesome stuff. This is why we watch sports. This is why Purdy is making national headlines right now. And he did it in Tom Brady's return to the Bay Area. Purdy was, 3 months old when Brady entered the league? That was awesome. Speaking of Brady, I saw him before the game just taking it all in, taking pictures of everything, of Joe Montana posters, and then he walked up to Bryant Young before the game and it gave him a bro hug. I've never seen a quarterback, fanboying more than we saw Tom Brady fanboy today. It was, he's like living out a childhood dream or something. It was crazy stuff in the stadium today. But then the 49ers made it a much worse day for Tom Brady. Stat of the game, defensively for the 49ers, is that they hit Tom Brady 7 times, despite the fact that he was getting the ball out so quickly. I mean, you don't understand until you actually see him in person how good he is at getting the football out. He leads the league in time to release, but on top of that, even when you got him wrapped up and you're bringing him down, Tom Brady's able to get rid of the football. He just has an uncanny ability. He's kind of made of rubber. You think he's going to get hurt by some of these sacks. He doesn't get hurt because he's made of rubber, but he still is able to release the football. And despite the fact the 49ers didn't get any sacks, and I think Sansa Ebicom told me, we're unhappy we didn't get a sack. We wanted one. I think Nick Bosa really wanted one. He got really close on one, but Brady got a yard past the first down mark, past the line, the line of scrimmage, so it was a 1 yard gain and not a sack. Despite the fact that the 49ers didn't notch any sacks today, the 7 hits speak volumes because it was a dink and dunk game plan from Tampa Bay, and the 49ers successfully defended those dinks and dunks. Dre Greenlaw had 15 tackles. He's a monster. Fred Warner says he needs to be in Pro Bowl consideration. I agree with him. And, when you force a team to dink and dunk it downfield the way that the 49ers did in such disciplined fashion, and you stop the run, you make their QB throw a ton of times. And Brady threw 55 times in this game. It was 34-55, but only 4.6 yards per attempt. So it was his least efficient performance of the season. And when you throw at that kind of volume, you're going to screw a few up. And he screwed 2 up today. Brady entered this game having thrown only 3 picks in 12 games. Lowest interception rate in the league. He threw 2 interceptions in 2 possessions to open the second half against the 49ers defense, both after he was pressured, right? So No sack, no problem. Pressure him. Bosa and a ton of guys pressured Tom Brady on the first interception. Deshaun Gibson, interception number 29 of his career, 32-year-old safety. That's impressive. Tom Brady's now in his book. That's a big one to get into your book, right? He hadn't intercepted Tom Brady yet, but interception number 29 for Gibson is of Tom Brady. And the second one was Greenlaw, and that was Kerry Hyder Jr. I mean, how many NFL teams can say that they have a reserve defensive lineman who had 8.5 sacks 2 seasons ago? 49ers can say it because that's where Kerry Hyder is. So he's got a bit of a knee issue. We're going to have to find out about his injury after this game. But the 49ers are so deep along that defensive line, which allows the kind of relentless pressure that they brought today against 55 Brady pass attempts. And you got to play to realize how exhausting it is to rush a guy 55 times and not be able to get a sack because he's getting rid of the ball so quickly, but the 49ers did. So offense delivered. I talked about the running game with McCaffrey. You know, no Vita Vea for the Buccaneers. That was huge. I obviously talked about Purdy, his, guts standing in against the blitz, how efficient he was. He commanded that situation. Offense delivered. Defense obviously delivered for the 49ers. 2 interceptions. They smothered the Tampa Bay running game. They kept the heat on Tom Brady. They played disciplined on the back end. And you know who else also delivered? The 49ers special teams unit. George Odum was a special teams all-pro with Indianapolis in the past. George Odum remains a special teams all-pro with the 49ers. He had 5 tackles on special teams today. I was in the 49ers locker room after. Everybody was talking about this. George Odum, 5 stops on special teams. I mean, this guy's just a missile. And this makes a huge difference. The 49ers consistently won the field position game between their coverage and their returns. And, this was on the note of special teams, this was a battle of Mr. Irrelevance. Brock Purdy, last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. Well, Tampa Bay also had a Mr. Irrelevant, Ryan Suckup, their kicker, the last pick of the draft so many years ago. Well, Brock Purdy, the 49ers Mr. Irrelevant, delivered 16 of 21, hyper efficient. Ryan Suckup didn't. He badly missed a kick in the first half, and that underlined the Bucs special teams issues. Tampa Bay is one of the worst special teams units in the league. 49ers, over the past month and a half, over the course of their win streak, have been a top 5 special teams unit. So look at this. The 49ers have been a top 5 offense over their win streak. They've been the number 1 defense over their win streak. And they have been a top 5 special teams unit. That is a 3-way juggernaut, top 5 across the board. Nobody has come even close to the 49ers' total efficiency over the course of the past 6 weeks, over the course of their 6-game win streak. It is the 49ers, and then it is everybody else. And you saw that today against the good Bucs defense and Tom Brady. The 49ers just dominated them. There's a reason the 49ers have gone from, we're not sure what they're going to do this year. Let's see what they can manage. We were saying that around the bye week, especially after the Kansas City loss. There's a reason they've gone from that level of uncertainty to being able to clinch the NFC West in mid-December. And it's because they've gone on an absolute rampage as a 3-way team displaying complementary football. And this, my friends, is the formula to win a Super Bowl. If the 49ers continue executing this formula, they have a very, very good chance to win the Super Bowl. So we're going to be back later tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about the Deebo Samuel injury, how the 49ers might overcome that. They did get good news, or they're expecting that they might get good news on that front. So we'll see with that. It's going to be a quick week. They're going to turn around. They're going to play Seattle. But boy, the 49ers are 9-4, and they have wind at their sails, and they have the respect of Tom Brady. Brock Purdy has the respect of Tom Brady. The 49ers defense has the respect of Tom Brady. And I'll leave you with this. With today's performance, the 49ers defense, which was already leading the league in simple metrics, points per game allowed, surpassed the Dallas Cowboys in the advanced metrics, expected points per play allowed. The 49ers barely edge out Dallas now, but the 49ers are now, by every single metric, officially the number 1 defense in football. So there you have it. 49ers 35, Bucs 7. Short week, chance to clinch the West on Thursday. Everybody liked the video. Sub to the channel. Good night from Levi's. I'm going to talk to you soon, probably a little bit later tonight. This is fun. Everybody take care.